Welcome to episode 30. 30 under
Wow.
30.
30 under 30.
13
Yeah.
going on 30.
I mean, we
13 going on
did
30.
did we do 30 episodes in under 30 weeks?
We did.
But we
did.
We skipped a week.
Oh shit, no we didn't.
So is it we just
I think we're on par now. Par of the
well,
course.
it's Saturday, so we did it.
It's Saturday, yeah. Yeah, we're recording a day early. We couldn't wait to talk about the Nintendo Switch stuff, so here we are. Digital down. We are Gamerations. This
Digital down.
is digital download.
Hey.
Digital download.
Jesse and I've
Huge.
got Nintendo.
Nintendo. It's like 10 in the
Fucking
morning.
10:30
Oh
a.m.
my god. My life is spiraling, so it's okay. I'm just so excited. You guys excited
Yes.
about
Yeah,
the Nintendo
I'm-
Switch?
I'm excited. A Nintendo console only comes out once every 5 years.
Once a millennial.
Once a millennium.
Once a millennial. So, before we talk about the Nintendo Switch, we have to talk about something that's a little less exciting.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Scalebound.
R.I.P.
Pour one out for our
I'm
homies.
gonna spill it all over your table and laptop and ruin the podcast.
So, Scalebound was a game that was being developed by Platinum Games. It was announced it was announced when the Xbox One was announced, an Xbox One exclusive. It was one of the front-running games for the console. You know, when they showed off all these great games that you could only play on Xbox One, Scalebound was up there. It was this unique sort of dragon hunting. You turn into a dragon. You turn into
Yeah,
a
so
creature.
basic-
You
so
ride a
basically,
dragon.
So, like, what the point of Scalebound is like, and I don't know if this is also related to Skyrim, but like, you would go around and you would kill like dragons, and you would take that dragon's power after killing it, and it's like that sort of open world feel. Like a Spider-Man game or like an Infamous game where like as you beat bosses you'll gain more powers and stuff to do. So like the dragons are the bosses. So you would take their powers and you could hunt down, I'm sure there was like probably 13 to 15 dragons that you go and you kill them all, but probably 3 to 5 of them were optional, I'd imagine. But yeah, so anyway, that was like a really, really cool concept to me.
It was new. It was new. It was a new
Exactly. That was the biggest thing that Microsoft had going for it. It had a new, fresh IP with a cool concept, and the gameplay looked awesome.
Yeah, nothing they ever showed me like concerned me. Like there are some things that you see at E3 and other things, and you're like, I don't know how this is looking. This is kind of scary. This isn't looking great. But Scalebound always had like an impressive performance. You always at E3 last year they showed off like almost 10 minutes of a giant boss battle. Like that game was very far along. That game was looking like a finished product. That looks like something that you could play right then and there.
With that one, it might not have had like the press of a Halo or a Gears of War for obvious reasons, but it was never like a point of concern. Like we've been talking about Mass Effect Andromeda and how it's just like what's new in this game. It's like you go into new planets. Like wasn't that the old game? Like what makes this game like cool and new? So like Scalebound was so obvious what was cool and new about it.
Yeah, it was right there in front of you.
And the people who were into it were really into it. And Platinum Games has like a huge following.
Yeah.
Anytime they put out anything, people are latching onto it. How just straight up fun they are. And that's what this game looked like. It just looked like a lot of fun.
I don't know if this is a fair comparison, so you can check me on this one. But I think what Scalebound could have done for the Xbox is kind of similar to like what Horizon is about to do for the PS4. You know, it's going to be that next sort of
It's like a next
step
level
into
game.
new IP,
Yeah.
potentially a franchise down the road, depending on how successful it is.
Absolutely.
It has some sort of large amount of hype behind it. You know, I mean, Xbox came out at E3 last year and they showed off Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
They showed off Gears of War 4. They showed off Halo Wars 2, Sea of Thieves, Scalebound. Scalebound was closer to the end of that presentation. That was one of their bigger things that they showed.
Yeah.
They were excited for it.
And for a game to be canceled this late in development, what was that game announced? Almost 4 years ago?
Something like
When
that.
the
Long
Xbox One was
time
announced,
ago.
2013?
Yeah.
So, early 2013, I'm pretty sure the Xbox One was announced. So, yeah, we're going on almost 4 years of this game. And I mean, you hear all sorts of development, like horror stories, like, oh, you got studio pressure, and you got to put this in the game, and you got to do it this way, and all this stuff. And Microsoft seems to have a track record with that. I mean, confirmed, unconfirmed. Sort of the you hear the whispers of the inner workings of how these companies go.
Yeah.
You see things like Phantom Dust, Project Spark, all these games that kind of never came to fruition.
All of these games that were announced the same
together.
year.
We're all announced together.
Yeah, there's something like the conspiracy theorist in everyone wants it to be like they were all announced around the same time. Like, what's going on with that? Like, everything else around that year has been, pretty straightforward Microsoft game stuff, and it's just like what plagued the announcements that year.
And one of my favorite parts of this, not that it's favorite because it is a terrible thing. People might lose their jobs. How do you lose like a client like that? You lose a game like that. I mean, like, how do you pivot to something? Like, what do you pivot to as a company? What do you just pick up and move something? But before we get on that, I just wanted to say, in the press release for them announcing that the cancellation of Scalebound, they say, Scalebound isn't coming anymore, but look forward to our 2017 lineup. And only one of those games didn't have a number in front of behind it.
What was that game?
So it was Sea of Thieves was the only new IP game that they have coming, because it was Halo Wars 2, Crackdown 3, State of Decay 2, and Sea of Thieves were the 4 games that they. And what's the other game that they have coming? Halo 6.
Forza,
but all have numbers. There's no
Gears 5
Gears
eventually.
5
It's almost just like they have this product. It's almost like they just take a finished product, essentially, especially for Forza games are cool. A lot of people like them a lot. I don't want to knock those games.
Yeah, none of those games are
bad.
It's not that they're bad, but
they're safe.
They're safe, exactly. You have a game that's essentially made in a sense. You just need to build new worlds for those cars to be driven in, and you can redetail other cars. You could dig up some old cars that you haven't used in games.
Yeah, look at Forza Horizon 3. That game completely a complete other way from so many other racing games out there, but it's still a racing game at its core. It's not. I completely agree with that.
Yeah,
and then Halo Wars 2 is going to be a real-time strategy, and it's going to be a lot.
At least that one's different. At least that one, the original was so long ago.
And Halo Wars, and I really really love the first Halo Wars. But what I do love about the RTS on on console is that there's no real market for that. Yeah. So even if you're not a huge fan of Halo, but you love RTS and you play on console primarily, that's something you'll pick up down the road because it's like, oh, well, I don't have any other options.
Plus, it's going to be a cross-play thing.
That terrifies me because you will get swept by people on the computer. A mouse and keyboard for an RTS versus a controller. Yeah. But, I mean, ideally that should happen in a regular situation, but who knows how they've mapped. Because the game is created for console primarily, and then PC.
They might just make you not use.
You might have to use a controller. Yeah. You might.
That's what I kind of assumed about those games.
I hope.
Well, no, you might not. I mean, I feel like there's.
I've never done it. So
every PC game, I feel like there's a way around it.
I feel like they wouldn't do that because then nobody would ever play it on PC because they're like, well, why would I play this game that I have to use a controller for when I can go play StarCraft 2 or I can go play any other RTS game that's out there, Warcraft 3. I can play anything that allows me to use a mouse and keyboard like a normal.
Right.
PC gamer.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never been into it, so I couldn't tell you.
Who knows? But so, and probably the most frustrating thing for me for this announcement is that they said Crackdown 3 2017. They put that in that press release.
Yeah.
That game is a mess, an absolute mess.
Yeah.
They have no idea. That game has been delayed. They have no idea what's going on with that game.
Crackdown 2 wasn't that good either.
Yeah, but
it's been long enough.
It's been long enough.
No, I get it, but
I never played Crackdown 2, but I've heard that it's not great. I played Crackdown 1 and I loved Crackdown 1.
Crackdown 1 was awesome.
Incredible. But 3, okay, sure. But that game wasn't even at E3. They didn't show anything from that game. And you're going to tell me that game is going to come out this year when you didn't. The only mention of Crackdown 3 at E3 was a logo on a screen of probably 40 logos of games that are coming out.
Yeah. It's not coming out this year. It's like a panic move because they're responding to the fact that they canceled this huge game that they were promoting.
Yeah.
And it's like they did a scorched earth of this game. They
wiped it.
Down
they wiped the website.
Everything.
There's no more trailers or anything.
And I hope Platinum is I don't know if they could do this. They probably can't because I'd imagine that Xbox or Microsoft has intellectual ownership of the idea in a way. But it would be awesome if Platinum was like, hey, Scalebound's pretty cool. Sony, what do you think?
Yeah. A lot of people have been saying that. I mean, Sony is so good to their Japanese developers, and they really promote a lot of the stuff that, who knows, maybe Platinum
Right.
does that.
If Platinum owns the idea, it would be great if they could just work
Yeah.
with the Sony team and just figure out a way to
Well,
get it on the PlayStation.
Not only that, they have good relationships with like 4 or 5 different publishers. They're putting out Nier Automata with Square Enix. They put out Bayonetta 2 with Nintendo.
Right.
Maybe they just
They have
Bayonetta
a
three.
contract with Activision. They put out Transformers
and
Turtles.
TMNT. Yeah,
Even though those are
not great. Nintendo was Star Fox Zero, right? It was them. And
oh
Nintendo.
yeah, they did put
They
out
did
Star Fox Zero.
I mean, not that we should probably even talk about that game, but
but
I have
it's like
some-
but it's
they
a
still have a
connection.
good
It's a connection.
relationship
Yeah,
with
yeah.
them.
I have,
I assume.
I have
You
ideas
hope.
on Star Fox that we'll talk about later.
okay, that's fair.
All right.
I understand
All
where
right.
that's going.
Should we get to
space.
it? Should
Do
we?
you guys have any other thoughts on Scalebound? Any last minute?
Love the game. Hope it comes out.
Yeah.
Really do.
Hope
Because
there's a-
just that, the whole concept, and just naturally being a big Dragon fan. You know?
It's interesting to see this
Big
because
Dragon Boy.
when does this ever happen? When you have a game so far in development that just is gone, it's just incredible. It really is. It's
I mean, I feel like it might have happened in the '90s a bunch, where like
But
there
I'm
was
saying
way
nothing
less
recently.
press, way less.
Yeah, the only way you know about a game is if you read a magazine.
Yeah.
Oh, before we get into our bigger topic for the day, I just want to say, have you guys seen what Resident Evil 7 has been doing? We talked about this. We talked about this yesterday.
But
But
sent people VHS tapes
VHS
with
tapes
players.
with VCRs, and it's one of the guys from the demo, I believe the beginning hour demo, one of the cameramen, and he's holding the camera and he's talking and he's like, the Baker family, they're crazy. Andre's dead. Like I gotta get out of here. And it goes, send this to, and they recorded about 100 different. So send this to Funhouse. Send this to Easy Allies. Send this to, and the beginning of the tape has the title card with in the VCR font thing
That's cool.
addressed to Easy Allies, Funhouse, Polygon showed theirs off, and all of them got these VCRs and VHS
That's so
tapes,
cool.
and that's incredible. I just thought that was really cool marketing. And if you want to check it out, all the other sites have put up the video on their respected channel, so you can check them out.
Very cool.
It's only a minute long, but it's a very cool little.
That's a good thing.
I
to
mean,
do.
that actor had to go and say 100 different journalists.
Well, it's a couple
names.
of hours.
It's pretty cool. It's a very cool little thing.
Yeah, that's really cool, and that's always I mean, marketing shouldn't be everything, but when they know how to market a game and do something really creative like that, you know that they really feel good about the game.
And especially since VHS tape is it's such a Resident Evil staple, and in Resident Evil 7, that first trailer when he takes the VHS and he puts it in the VCR, and then the Resident Evil trailer plays. So they have the gameplay, they have the demo of him walking around, and everybody at E3 was like, "What is this game? It looks like PT. We don't really know. Is this that kitchen thing that came out on VR a little while ago?" And then it puts the tape in, and then it plays some weird Japanese music, and then all of a sudden it says Resident Evil 7, and everybody lost their shit. So it's cool that they they kind of
Again,
stuck with that aesthetic.
Semi-related to marketing, the logo for Resident Evil 7 is
Clean.
brilliant, and then the Japanese version, Biohazard, and it's got
The
is
7
it
is
the VI?
Yeah. Okay.
Is that the Japanese one is VI, or
I don't remember. I
Yeah,
remember it something with the Z. It being put into the Z of Biohazard
I don't know,
or
but
something.
either way,
It's a clean
so
logo. Check
clean,
it out.
so cool, just
Resident Evil's
brilliant.
back, baby. Hopefully. That game comes out in 2
Confidence.
weeks, so
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
2 weeks or it's not this
January
Tuesday?
24th.
Oh, so yeah,
That's so
So
soon.
it's less than 2 weeks.
What's today?
Well, today's the 14th, I think.
Sure. Okay, so 10 days. So less than 2 weeks. This game comes out
I'm gonna-
not this Tuesday, next Tuesday.
I'm gonna pitch you something.
Yeah, I'm down.
We
Oh.
should do a video in the dark, Resident Evil 7, because I'm not gonna play that game
I'll do you one better. We play Resident Evil 7 in VR.
in the dark.
In the dark. we do full playthrough Resident Evil VR. We switch off.
I'll bring some extra pants.
Look out for that. One of us has to buy this game now.
Who needs extra pants? We'll just get diapers.
You're right.
Oh man, this is getting weird. This is getting pervy.
I think we should switch it up.
Yeah, make the switch. All right, let's get
Do
into
it.
Any more?
I'll share the joy with you guys. Did you see that at the Did you hear that at the presentation?
Yeah, they want me to share the joy.
They share
That's not gonna
when they
happen.
say, "Oh,
I'm
when you
keeping it all
when you
myself.
give a Joy-Con to a friend, it's called sharing the joy," and everyone just went, Okay, so for those of
They're
you
so innocent. They're so innocent.
for those of you who live under a rock and haven't seen anything in the internet, I'm just kidding. Nintendo Switch, which is Nintendo's new console, which we've talked about before, very excited for, had a presentation on Thursday. They announced the release date, which is
March 3rd.
March 3rd,
Worldwide.
worldwide. The
Worldwide,
suggested
wide,
retail
wide.
price for North America is
$2.99.
$299.99, and
$699 US.
600 29,980 yen if we're keeping up with
Yes, I have a big
recent
yen collection.
recent market trends. And yeah, so they had about an hour long presentation. I think it was a little bit over an hour. They showed off some games, if you want to call them that. They showed off
well, it's two people playing something, so it's a game.
It's a game. By the barest definition, it meets the criteria
There's
for a
rules and a winner. That's like what you need to be a game. That's it.
game. So they showed off the console, which we've seen already. They showed it off in full. They made sure that you saw every little piece of the controller.
Yeah, they went in depth. Like,
and it wasn't video
this is
either.
how you press the buttons. This button pauses the game, and it's like, yes, I too play video games.
They didn't want any. I appreciate they didn't want any confusion.
Definitely.
They didn't want a Wii U nightmare again.
Yeah.
I love that everything was done live. They didn't for the most part. I mean, they had the weird little the guy
Video
doing like the magic and stuff,
Interstitials.
but everything for the most part was done live. So when he picked up the controller for the first time, when he talked about it, everybody came out on stage and actually spoke. It wasn't just a weird treehouse or a weird
Right.
direct. It was we're going to make this. This was a presentation. It was on a stage. There was TVs. There was lights. They had a DJ before. If you tuned into the stream
That was actually
early.
kind of cool.
I want to tell you guys a fun story about how I watched this presentation. I watched it on my phone at the bar with no sound. How incredible is that?
Good thing there were a lot of subtitles. Oh wait, no, there weren't
No,
any
there
subtitles.
wasn't any
Fuck,
subtitles.
There was people talking
there was
over.
people talking. The only
Never
time you
mind.
got subtitles is for Japanese trailers.
that
had English subtitles.
At the
So
end.
Zelda and
Xenoblade.
Xenoblade, I think, were the only two things that had subtitles.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, man.
it was very fun. I mean, I watched it when I got home, like the next morning. Yesterday, I had watched it a few times, but it was extremely funny because me and some of the other people at the bar who were watching it were just trying to guess. We were like, "What? What is going on here?" They're talking, and we got so many things wrong just by trying to guess by words on the screen. So okay, but let's talk about the console a little bit. It's not region locked like all of their other consoles are.
Right. So if you want to, beat the market and get the Japanese one,
You can do that.
good luck, I guess. I don't know.
They did a weird montage, sort of they're like, well, this was our first console, and it gave us this button. And then our
They
next
get to the
console,
GameCube. Oh my god.
the GameCube had the handle. And I was like, wow, we're really referencing that. Which is funny because and when people talk about the GameCube, I always go, it's the best console. It has a handle. You can just walk around.
Yeah,
with.
but you're being ironic.
Yeah, I know. Which is funny that they're not
GameCube
me.
was an awesome system, though.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
100%.
I miss
My favorite
Nintendo
Nintendo system
era.
Yeah.
was the GameCube.
Yeah.
Because I think it was I was old enough at that point to like appreciate like a wider category of video games at
Yeah.
that point. So the GameCube like opened me up to a lot of different stuff. Also, it's my
Yeah.
favorite game of all time, Luigi's Mansion,
Yeah.
launch title for the GameCube.
Plus, during that era was like Nintendo Power.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of
Resident
good
Evil 4
stuff.
came to the GameCube
First, yeah, it did.
which is really crazy
Yeah.
when you think about that.
I miss that era of games.
They
It
had
was
the
just-
small
they were just
discs.
silly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Small
Memory
discs.
cards.
Mario Party 5.
You could get them in multiple colors.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do that with the N64 later in its lifetime, but I think the GameCube launched in black or purple first, and then they added orange
I had the
and then
purple one.
gray. I had purple too. There's like orange and gray, and then I think you get like a clear one if you
Yeah.
wanted to, which is I mean,
and they
that's
had
cool.
so many different cool controller designs. And,
Animal Crossing.
yeah.
Nintendo has
Super
never.
Smash Bros. Melee
Melee.
was like I think my favorite
People
Smash.
still are
And
hyped
Double
on that.
Dash was awesome too.
It's interesting that
Underrated.
Yeah.
Nintendo
totally.
has never been. I forget who I was talking to about this, and we'll get back to Nintendo in a minute. This is just a side comment. so many consoles nowadays are worried about like blending in with like all your other stuff because
Yeah.
they want it to be like an entertainment system. Nintendo's never gave a shit about that. They're like, we're gonna make this purple. It's gonna be a cube. It's gonna stand out when it's on your shelf.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, during that time too, it was like Xbox, GameCube.
Yeah.
Like people were just like losing their
But
minds over
even
that.
even with the Wii U less. I think they went more traditional on that.
It was
one.
a bit-
But even
a
the
bit
Wii
slicker.
stood up, or should they promoted that it should stand up, and it was white. Like
It was
it,
white,
you,
yeah.
that stuck out like a sore thumb.
It was pretty sleek looking.
It was very sleek looking. It was a very good. I mean, Nintendo Wii is I think is their best selling console, and
Yeah.
I think they're the peak of all their kind of stuff because they were riding the GameCube up, and then the
They
Wii,
were riding
and
the
then they had
DS hype.
the
Yeah.
that was a big.
The
big
DS is like just as close, I think, as a best selling.
Does 3DS beat it, or are you considering that all one?
No, I think just DS.
Okay.
That.
But still, in terms of handheld market, they've dominated.
Yeah, 100%. Nothing's been able to compete. I mean, you had the PSP, which lasted a good amount of time, but never caught the hype that the DS did.
Yeah.
And then you had the Vita, which everyone who has a Vita loves it. I don't hear bad things about it. I hear this Sony cut support for it very, very quickly. First party support.
Yeah.
They do have third party
And
stuff.
they just made like dumb sort of games of like popular titles, which I
like
thought
that
was kind of
Uncharted
annoying.
game.
Like the Uncharted game, they made an Assassin's Creed game,
Uncharted
a Call of
4,
Duty game. It's just like
Golden.
cool.
What studio was that? I'm trying to remember. They just made something, or
Golden
they were just
Abyss.
They were just in. They're making something that's. Oh, I think they're doing the Parappa the Rapper remaster, if I
cool.
remember correctly. I'm gonna correct myself later when I remember what they're actually doing. But that's in the back of my head. That's what they were doing. Anyway, let's get back to the Nintendo Switch because
Nintendo Switch. The design does sort of fit into your like your lifestyle, your devices. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
It looks like a tablet. I mean, it literally is a tablet, but it looks like one.
Yeah.
granted that if you have the neon Joy-Cons like I've been trying to get, it's gonna stick out because it's neon, and I love that they promoted two different colors as opposed to get the blue ones or
Neon
the red
Joy-Con.
ones.
That's the
But
Riff Raff album.
That's the riff. I was
But- Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say that was the Neon Trees side project, but anyway,
I hate that the console that you get has
One
one
of
red
each.
and one blue because
Oh.
that drives me nuts.
But they're selling it, so like you could buy the red set, the blue
Yeah, you
set,
can
the
buy the
black
sets.
set, or you could just buy one of the left one or the right one.
Yeah,
They're just like, ooh, they're trying to milk you for all that money.
I
Speaking
know.
of milk, there's a milk game.
yes.
we'll get to that. We're getting there. I would not let that go unsaid.
Oh man, that looks like something.
Okay, so let's talk about this. It's $300. It's not region locked. It has some games coming out at launch. Not the only heavy hitter in that pile is Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
But the peripherals and all the extra stuff are priced very, very poorly.
As in high.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
the Wii U,
I really looked.
the Nintendo Switch Pro controller is $70. The
Yeah.
pair of Joy Cons are $80.
Yep.
If you
Okay,
want,
like I kind of get.
But
There's
they're
a lot of
50 each,
technology-
right, too. So like,
I think they're 40 each.
no, I think that I think that they're 50 each because it's like they're trying to sell you to get both of them.
Oh, so okay,
so it's
I
like
understand.
if you buy both of them,
You get them at a
for
discount.
less.
Understood. I actually hadn't looked into buying single ones, so
Yeah, I haven't really looked at.
the dock. If you want an additional dock, I guess to plug into your TV somewhere else,
Yeah.
Yeah.
$90.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's a piece of plastic with an HDMI port. Like it's really
That's
not.
a lot of money.
That's a
for
lot
that.
of money for that. The straps are like $7. That's the only thing that's like okay, yeah, all right, sure.
But wait, like, if that's the case and the dock doesn't really do anything, why don't you just use a different HDMI? Oh, does the
it has to
Switch
go
itself
in. Yeah.
doesn't have an HDMI
Yeah.
port?
No, it goes into whatever this thing is.
They're gonna
Yeah, so
find a way to
basically-
get some third party.
Yeah, and then people's
Rumblings
switches are
on
going to explode.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't wait. It'll be fun.
I don't know if there were any other. They're selling like screen protectors and other things, and all that
Right.
stuff's PHP. I don't know that company very well.
They're also coming out with
It's-
like cases.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
that stuff's reasonably priced. Though.
All-
All
yeah.
the non-Nintendo,
Yeah.
like Nintendo Switch, like
Accessories.
these things are accessories. I don't know the proper word for them. All the things you would need that attach and detach to the Nintendo Switch itself are expensive.
I'd call them accessories.
Accessories, okay, because yeah, that's fine. Because the cases are, I guess, considered an accessory
You don't
too.
really
but
need
they're
that.
not.
You don't really need a screen protector.
No, you don't.
Maybe you should get one. I don't know.
But anyway,
We'll see some rumblings as this first comes out when people are smashing their fucking Switches
Yeah,
on
well,
the
when
ground.
the Switch was first announced, everybody was like, "Oh, these Joy-Cons better be like cheap, so you can buy them by the bucket load, because kids are gonna lose them, kids are gonna throw them." And then as soon as that presentation started, and they started talking about like the inner workings of this thing, I
Yeah.
was like, "This thing's gonna be fucking expensive."
Yeah.
Because
HD Rumble.
yeah, so for those of you who don't know or
So it
haven't
means
seen
it
the
vibrates.
presentation, so. But it's from I've been like reading up on the people who were there and playing it yesterday. You can actually feel like when they showed that ice cube, like they're like, no, you can feel like a specific weight shift around like specific points. It's not just like this vibrates. It's like oh shit, like I can feel the ice cube, like it's right there, like, and then you like shift it, and apparently it's like incredible things that people are like very excited about. What they do with that, who knows?
Yeah, that's going to be another one of those things where with the Wii and Wii U, it's like only Nintendo knows how to make games for this.
So, for those of you who don't know, the Joy-Cons are the detachable controllers on the screen that you could also use to play when it's in TV mode. You could slide them onto something else to make like a little controller.
Yeah, it comes with the bundle comes with the grip.
The
right?
grip, yes.
Okay.
So they showed off these things, and people were like, "Oh, that's cool. That's the gimmick. They slide on and off."
Mhm.
No, they went a couple steps further than that. They have motion control, so they're very similar to the Wii.
Yeah.
You know, you can play ping pong and all these other games that they've shown off. You know, your Arms, your Wii Sports, essentially,
Yeah.
like all those games. And then they introduced something called HD Rumble, which, as I was describing before, Negri was talking about. It's this sort of weight that the controller has. This rumble where you can. They showed off a man like it was a little video, and like they showed the controller and then like a fake glass next to it, and they put an ice cube and he shakes it, and it's like, oh, you can feel the ice cube inside of here, and then they put two, and it's like it even notices when there's two, and essentially it's this sort of weird sort of hybrid like force feedback vibration sort of thing that's going on. And I guess it's hard to explain. It's one of those things that when you play it, you'll just understand it.
It might be like the tech in the MacBook that when you press down on the mouse pad,
like a force touch.
the force touch on the mouse pad, where it's not a real button, but it feels like a button,
Yeah.
and you don't know what, like, your brain is confused. And,
Yeah, everyone is having a hard time.
yeah, or the new iPhone where it's not an actual home button and it's that thing too.
Yeah.
I think that is the closest thing to this.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. And
Just like a really soft.
it's
rumble
a
is what
weird
I
it's a
expect.
weird thing that you're like once you get your hands on it, I guess you just start to understand. Also, they showed off that the Joy-Con right, because the right and left are two different things, so you have to make sure you know which one's which.
Yeah.
Because one has the AXYB buttons,
Yeah.
and the other one has the joystick and the D. No, what is on the other one?
It's a
Joystick,
D-pad.
D-pad. Yeah, okay.
Hopefully they have those labeled.
They do.
Okay. And also,
Well, you
I
should
wonder-
know, because if you went to slide it on, it would slide upside down.
oh right. Now I wonder if you can flip them.
What do you mean?
You know, like if say you're left-handed, right, and you want to have your power buttons, I guess, in your left hand and your directional in your right hand, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can switch them, because think about it, like you're gonna put them on the Switch,
Right.
right, and they're gonna slide in. So if you're putting them in wrong, you could slide them in. But most screens, most tablets at least, you can look at them this way, but then if you flip them over, they'll flip with you. Right?
The reason I'm gonna say no to this is because you have like the cartridge and all the other things that go in there, and then like everything's like upside down. You know what I mean? Like you put the cartridge in the top, and then you flip it over, it's upside down. And not that that's a big deal. I think they're just gonna keep it uniform. Like this is the direction you look at it.
Fair.
I feel like they would have showed that off too.
Taking shots at lefties.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean that'll be a little bit confusing,
But I mean,
right?
Not really. I mean, every other controller,
Yeah,
the buttons
when
are always on the
when
right
the-
side anyway.
When you do have the
Right.
controllers, yeah, it does. Okay,
But that's because you're forced that way.
But I don't know. I
Society
wouldn't.
made it. It's the
Would you
man
play?
keeping
I'm
you down.
left-handed too. Would you play with the buttons on the left hand? I feel like I'm just
I
so.
can play Guitar Hero. I play Guitar Hero lefty,
I so do I.
that's the only thing that's ever offered me the availability to do that. You know?
I play it left-handed, but I don't put on lefty mode. So I
Well,
just
that's just-
I just do it backwards.
That's just weird. We're
I
not
just
even
taught
gonna
myself
get
how to
into
do that.
But my point being is like I've never been afforded the ability to play lefty if I wanted to. I just have to play righty. So Guitar Hero was the first thing that gave me that opportunity, so I took it and did it, and that's where
it's
I ended up
understood.
At. So like
I've never thought
my
about
thought
it.
process.
It's an interesting thought. So the right Joy-Con has the infrared sensor,
Mhm.
which is used for a number of things. But they showed off that it can tell distance, so it can tell you how far away your hand is from the controller. I guess up to a certain. They didn't say how far this thing goes
Yeah.
without it like getting kind of weird. And then it can tell the difference in shape. So they were like, it could tell the difference between rock, paper, scissor. And people were like, this is cool, but
That's
what does
pretty
that mean?
impressive. Yeah.
Like, what do you do with that? As if the
No
gimmick of detachable controllers weren't enough, they took it a step further with
Yeah.
HD Rumble and this and the motion controls. And not that any of that's bad, it's just, again, you said this before, nobody but Nintendo knows how to develop for that.
Yeah, I mean, it at the very least, like, leads to a diverse possibility of gameplay opportunities.
Right.
You can have your Wii Sports type games, and you can have your hardcore games because they're building it in from the start to like be an actual controller instead of like, no, you got to do the motion stuff, which I think is like the way it should have been from the beginning with the Wii. You know.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think there might have been a little bit of hubris with that.
Yeah, just a little bit. So after they shut off all that, it was all everything was looking pretty good.
No, they also showed that the sticks on the Joy-Cons click in.
They click in, and that's how you use Amiibos. You put the Amiibo on the right joystick, and that's how it reads it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sure. Just Amiibo support. It's still there. They're not getting rid of it.
Amiibos, I just feel like Amiibos are cooler as like set pieces for a dresser than they are actual functionality.
Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for them to make the Disney Infinity Skylanders Nintendo game, where it's just like Amiibo. You know
There's
what I
so much going
Oh,
on.
you mean
there.
like the...
Like the Disney Infinity-esque game where there'll be Amiibos.
yeah, not a crossover game.
No, they have Skylanders on Nintendo Switch. It was at the event yesterday.
They also had Bowser and
Bowser
Donkey
and
Kong were in Skylanders.
Skylanders, yeah.
So, yeah, when they have the like base Amiibo game, but that's also like so ridiculous. I
It
don't
makes
know.
sense, though. I mean, it really does.
Yeah,
It's the direction they
I don't
should
know.
go.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of also like that they go into every game, but it's just like kind of a like who cares at the same time. Like I love the designs of those Breath of the Wild amiibos.
I only want the Guardian one.
They
big
all
one
look
with-
super cool.
With the movable appendages.
Yeah, and they went on sale last night. Actually,
They did.
Not the bundle, but if you chose to buy all 5, it was like $60-something bucks. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
they were on
It's not
Amazon
that-
with your discount.
not
They
that
were
expensive.
$12.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I added up. But like, I wish they put out a bundle. I would buy that shit instantly.
Yeah.
They just look cool, and I don't know if I can. I mean, I was watching the Treehouse stream,
Mhm.
and they were talking about the amiibos. And they were heavily hinting at like Zelda being possibly a playable character in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And everyone on the internet is like, Zelda's not a playable character. And like, why can't we just play as Zelda? And like, maybe they're doing that because they in the Treehouse thing. They were like, Zelda's wearing that blue tunic.
Yeah, they were in the blue tunic.
And then Zelda's got the Sheikah tablet, just like Link. And I was like, that's so cool. And but no, because it's not like fully 100% confirmed, because it's obviously a secret that they want people to discover when they play the fucking game. People on the internet are just like, I should be able to play as whoever I want to play and all that stuff. But just like fucking give them the chance to tell you a story
Right.
at the same time.
Yeah, I just don't understand, like... Well, I get it that you want to play... Everyone wants to play Zelda. Fair enough.
Yeah,
But, like,
I have no problem with that.
Don't you want to play the story, too, if that's... if the story is
And like
there?
maybe it's a secret that's like right at the beginning of the game where it's like you choose Zelda or Link.
Yeah.
And then the game swaps.
It could be like the way Dishonored 2 is, or it could be like...
Think about Batman.
The way Batman Arkham
With
City
Catwoman,
is.
just... like, you
Yeah.
just...
You
There's
just-
parts of the game you play as Catwoman.
Right.
You play as Zelda in parts of...
Maybe.
There's a scene in that latest trailer where Link is all, like, disheveled and his sword is broken and, like, there's, like, it's burning around him and, like, clearly shit has gone down.
Mm.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was like, oh no, like Link is incapacitated, like I have to help him, or
Mhm.
like an Ellie and Joel situation
Yeah.
in The Last of Us, where like
Well,
you
like,
go on a mission or something as
every Zelda game demands something from Zelda in order to
Yeah.
win the game.
I mean it's
You
part of
know,
the Triforce, it's part of
whether
the
it's
partnership.
like Ocarina of Time, where she gives you the power to kill Ganon on top of the castle, or in Twilight Princess, where you're riding on the horse with her and she has to shoot Ganondorf with her like light arrows.
Yeah.
You know, it's things like that. So it's sort of like it'll get to the point where, maybe Link passes off the power to Zelda and then she finishes the job.
Maybe.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, there's so
mean,
many possibilities
yeah.
we won't know.
But-
and they're trying to keep it all,
Yeah, of course. And they
For
should. You know what?
themselves.
I don't want to know until I play the game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to know now or
But
whenever.
I think the best possible opportunity is from the jump, like, be Link or be Zelda.
Yeah.
Period. And like, if they said that outright, like, people would be like, yes, finally. But also, like, if they want to keep it a secret and have you jump into that game and like just be blown away by this secret that they kept secret, that's cool too. I like that.
So
And also, just real quick, speaking of that game, is this the first? I was watching the trailer again before I came here. Is this the first game with a voice cast?
For Nintendo?
No,
no, for
No, for
Zelda,
Zelda.
I believe so.
because like
think so,
even
yeah.
Zelda has a voice, and like watching that trailer again, like the 3-minute one, it's like really emotional. There are
Yeah.
like people. She's like crying on him,
Mhm.
saying that like, everything is
heavy
gone.
trailer, very heavy.
I've seen a lot
Like
of
everything that she's done has been for nothing. Like it's like going to be a really emotional game. I'm looking forward to
I think
it.
the voice acting.
I'm very excited for it.
That'll change the game totally. As long as Link doesn't speak, we're in
Yeah, I
good
think
shape.
that's the
I think it's the silent. Yeah, the silent protagonist has got to stay there.
Yeah, I saw some like tweets and fan art of Zelda last night, and it was just like someone posted some fan art and it was just like thinking about her, and it's like people are already heartbroken. The game's not even out yet.
I know.
It looks fucking great.
Is
though.
everything
I
I've done for
cannot.
nothing? And she's like crying, and there's like cities burning, and there's like these things running rampant.
Ganon
and just
is like
Yeah.
Calamity Ganon.
Calamity-
Calamity Ganon.
Calamity
And
Ganon.
the bosses all have like a voice, which is kind of cool too, and like all of the NPCs. Have
Yeah,
a voice.
all the
oh my god,
characters
who's
are-
it? The fish guy, Zora. Oh,
the
man, what's his-
Zoras.
The Zoras.
Zoras.
But like the head guy's got a name, and I can't remember his name. The head honcho, the fish man. In this game, he looks fucking awesome.
yeah,
He's like
Oh,
tall.
they
He's got
so
oh
cool.
man, it's so
The
cool.
character design is phenomenal.
It's so good.
This is the first HD Zelda game that isn't like a remaster.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's reel it in. We'll get to Zelda. We can nerd out
I think
about Zelda
we
in a bit.
did.
There's
nerd out
a
about
lot more to go through though.
Really?
All right, I guess.
Yeah, we have a ton more. We
right,
haven't
all
even
right,
talked
let's
about.
do-
Oh,
let's
no,
see what we have to do.
More
Let's see what we have
Zelda,
to do.
or just
Oh, we can talk about more Zelda.
no,
of
no,
course.
no,
We can talk
no.
about
I
Zelda
think we're
forever.
done with Zelda. I'm just saying.
No, we're not
I
done.
thought
We're
you were
never
saying
done
we're
with
going to go
Zelda.
to
We're
Zelda.
never
Go
done with
back to
Zelda.
Zelda.
All right.
I have a lot to say
Let's
about
go
Zelda.
to
that I
let's go
haven't
to
said
where
yet.
we want to go. Go.
Once you switch, we have to talk about that.
Sure.
Once
we
you
do.
switch is like the Wii Sports of the Switch, but doesn't come with the
Dude,
console.
it looks like. Why is this not WarioWare? Because this is like
I love
such
WarioWare
a
Smooth Moves
WarioWare
is
game.
my favorite.
We
Wii game.
played Smooth Moves for like hours at your house, and it wasn't even like Smooth Moves came out recently. It's just
No,
like,
it was
shit.
it was like years
Jesse has
after.
one Wii game and it's Smooth Moves. and
I have
we're
more
just
than
gonna
one
play
Wii game, but I had
But-
Cooking Mama.
True, but we had like a lot of people.
Yeah, no, it's the
around,
only game that besides Wii Sports that you could play with like a lot.
and
of
it was
people.
just a lot of fun.
Oh man, that game is so good. But so once you switch is a game where it promotes that you don't look at the screen and you look your opponent in the eyes.
Yeah, during the Treehouse presentation, they were all the Treehouse people were playing with each other, and like the loading screen that showed up on the background was just like, seriously, like look in your opponent's eyes, don't be shy, and it's like that's on the loading screen. They really want you to do that. I think like it sounds so dumb to like look your opponent in the eye, like what? Don't tell me what to do. First off. But also, like, yeah. Like, that's kind of like a new intensity that you don't really get
Yeah.
in gaming a lot. Like you and I could play Mario Kart, and we could all be sitting on the couch, and I'll just like, oh, you threw something at me, and I'll just fucking bump you,
Yeah.
because why not?
But we're
like-
all sitting facing the same direction.
So, yeah, we're not like getting in each other's faces. I think that's kind of cool. It's a novel.
It's
idea.
a good party dynamic.
Yeah.
And that's what they promoted as. They were like, they literally said, bring this to parties, they said, bring this to parties, bring this to after parties, bring this.
Yeah, there's a picture of people in the club playing fucking 1-2 Switch.
Well, it's also kind of cool because, like, if you think about it, you can bring the tablet, right?
Yeah.
And instead of having 8 people huddled around the tablet on your rooftop in
Right.
Brooklyn, you can
The
just,
ideal situation.
You can
All those
play,
rooftop parties we go to. Finally have something to do with them.
But yeah, so you can play the game, and it's sort of irrelevant what the TV even is because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that PlayStation 3 game, Joust. You've ever seen that? I've never played it, but people at PAX,
Really
when I go
digging
play
in the
it,
archives for that one.
it's a PlayStation Move game.
Okay, I think
Oh.
I
And from what it's been described to me as, it's sort of like tag, but you have to move very carefully, and the tops of the move controllers turn different colors, and you basically have to try to like tag your opponent, but you're just staring at each other and basically circling each other until waiting for that move to be made. So it reminds me of that, where you're not even, the screen is irrelevant. You're looking at the move controllers and your opponent, and you're kind of just, and a bunch of people can play it. So sometimes I'll go and I'll see people playing Joust, and there's 5 or 6 people in a corner somewhere just kind of all moving at each other, and it's bizarre. But it's cool. It's something like that.
This is like a really fucking expensive version of that game Ninja.
Yeah.
People we used to play in hie school, and we would just look like jackasses.
High school.
In a
I
field.
literally played it 3 weeks ago on a
No,
train
you did
platform
not.
at 2 a.m.
Oh, yes, you did. Yes, you did.
We were waiting for the train, and we played it, and it was a good time.
Yeah, you just look like an asshole,
But you don't give a
but
shit.
you're having a lot of fun with a bunch of friends. So I think that this is that.
It's
sort
not
of thing.
$50 fun, but it's fun. I
Yeah,
guess.
Ninja, I would not pay
Like
$50 to play Ninja.
So
Just
that's
straight up.
one of the biggest problems with this game is that it's a game that 100% should be bundled with the Switch because it shows off the Switch. It shows off exactly all the things they explained about HD rumble and infrared
IR,
sensors
yeah.
and motion control. If you want to show somebody the
The
Switch,
tablet functionality,
if you want to show somebody the Switch
sharing the joy.
in the easiest
All
way
that
possible, you hand them a Joy-Con and you say, let's play 1-2 Switch, and then they get it. They
Yeah.
play it and they understand it. And if you want your console to succeed by word of mouth, you bundle it with a game like 1-2 Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, people like us who are real into gaming probably aren't going to pick that up. And even if we do, it's going to be one of us. We all pre-ordered the console, but we talked about this a little bit last night. We might want to do a video on 1-2 Switch and look like jackasses online.
Yeah,
Which is cool.
which will be fun, and you
Why
guys will see it and you'll understand about
Yeah,
1-2 Switch. It'll be a good time.
But that's one of us buying that game. It's not going to sell 3 copies.
Yeah, either one of us buys it or we all split a copy.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah,
Right, but the point being is
not
we're
all
gonna
3
buy
of
it
us are going to get it.
individually.
It's not something I'm going
It's
to.
not something we need to buy individually. Which
It's not
is,
something I'm going to
yeah.
play at home.
Right.
I think I'm too old to play party games with my parents.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if family comes over for a holiday or something,
Okay,
it's going to
yeah.
bust out the Switch,
Yeah.
play it up.
Bust
or
out
whatever.
the Switch.
Yeah.
Put somebody in line.
Yeah, put somebody in line. That's still my favorite part of the.
Holidays get wild.
So that's 1-2 Switch. For those of you who don't know, because we didn't fully explain what 1-2 Switch is. It's just a collection of mini games that use the Joy-Cons. So there's a game where you literally milk a cow, and it's whoever can milk as many glass as possible. Eating a sandwich by putting the infrared sensor in front of your mouth.
And opening and closing your mouth.
Yeah.
To see how many
you go
sandwiches you could eat in 10 seconds or something.
Jeez.
There's that. There's
Rock, paper, scissors is going to be a game.
I don't.
Oh,
It's
I mean,
gonna be-
there might be
It's
more than
gonna
what
be
they
some
showed,
compa-
but
because if you're telling me that the infrared is going to be able to pick up whether you could do rock, paper,
and
or
they said that
scissors,
specifically. That it should be in there.
then that's going to be something.
There's a sword fight or something I saw.
Mm.
There's a Wild West quick draw.
that one is kind of cool.
That's the one they showed off at the presentation. They had 2 people literally Wild West, all dressed up, gonna do a duel, and then they whipped out the Joy-Con controllers, and then it gives you your reaction speed, and the one who loses it rumbles.
and it shows you the angle at which you shot them.
Yeah,
So post game, the 2 seconds it takes to
shoot somebody.
shoot someone. It shows the angle at which you fired, because there's a I don't know what it would be called, a good angle to shoot someone.
Trajectory.
I don't know, because you could basically it's you want to point at them and shoot at them. But if you like press the button too soon and you shoot at the ground, or you press too late, you shoot in the sky. I don't know. It was just like
That's cool.
these controllers are super precise, and they know down to like the 100th of a second
Yeah,
how quick you shot.
that's
like,
that's worth mentioning.
It's pretty impressive.
Wii motion control was it was a cool idea and it worked for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, the technology has come a long way in 10 years, pretty much.
Yeah, 10 years.
Over 10 years now. I think
Wow.
Wii was 2006.
Holy shit.
So we're going on 11
That's
years.
crazy.
So, yeah, so the technology has come a long way. So these things will probably be miles ahead of any sort of Wii Motion, even Wii Motion Plus or whatever they came out with later. So, I mean, I'm not concerned about motion controls. I'm concerned just about like how gimmicky they want to make everything.
Yeah.
Oh, there's ping pong, but it's invisible ping pong, so you don't actually see the table. You have to go by sound. So, like, you hear them hit it, and then you got to be like, all right, now I hit it. And then you hit it.
That's interesting.
It's a weird concept.
Uh-huh.
But, okay, so that's 1-2 Switch. Then they moved on to Splatoon 2.
Splatoon.
But they didn't do that.
I
They
know.
did Splatoon 2. What? Why?
I don't care about Splatoon.
I'm excited.
Did you play Splatoon?
It's a multiplayer game. I've
Did you
never
play it?
cared
But then
about
there's a
multiplayer
campaign.
games.
There is a campaign.
Yes, there's
yeah,
a
I heard
campaign,
it was-
and there's a new campaign in Splatoon 2. It's a full game.
Fair, but it's always been presented as a multiplayer game. So I
Well,
just
yeah,
assume
it's like
it's-
multiplayer first, but
It's like Titanfall,
the campaign
multiplayer first.
right? But
but
it's,
a weaker campaign, small campaign.
I think
wouldn't
it's
say
like
weak,
the
I would
people
say
who
small.
played it, like really dug it because it's like a platforming game where
Yeah.
you also shoot.
Yeah. No,
Um,
I love the idea of Splatoon. I think it's great, and I'm happy that Nintendo is making a game like that because it's very lighthearted. It's a lot of fun. It's a type of game that could rival like an Overwatch, in a sense, because it's a fun multiplayer, exciting, fast-paced game that people are going to play the
it's
multiplayer.
kind of
for.
family friendly.
Yeah, very
Yeah, okay.
family friendly.
Okay, I'll give
In
yeah.
that regard, right? So like, it's cool. I'm glad that they're doing it, but like, it's just like, you know, if you, I don't like playing Nintendo games for multiplayer because multiplayer's never been good on Nintendo.
Oh, that's
Uh,
something we should talk about. Let's get into that because I skipped over that before we get into Splatoon 2 because we're going to start getting into multiplayer. Nintendo is launching a paid online service.
Yeah.
It's free up until fall 2017.
No concrete date.
No, they just said fall 2017. That's all they said when they
Most
announced
of the
it.
year, which is cool.
Yeah,
Splatoon
so-
should be out by then.
Yeah, Splatoon is summer.
Mario Kart should be out by then.
Mario Kart will be end of April. But they didn't really give any sort of... They said there'll be more details on our website at a later date. And then it came out and it showed you what you get for paid service versus what you get for not paid service. Obviously, if you want to play online against other people, you have to pay come when the subscription... You get a free NES or SNES game, and I don't know if it's of your choosing or their choosing, but you get it for 1 month, and then at the end of the month, you give it back, unless you want to buy it.
If that's the case, they better let you choose what you want.
Right.
Because that would be really crappy for them to give you a game that you don't even want to play and you don't even get to keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some of the perks of paying for Nintendo was like discounts on the store
Right.
and like playing online. So
Pretty much
and
your-
that free game.
Pretty much your typical PSN or
So-
Xbox Live.
If they give you that
Infrastructure.
free game for a discount at the end of the month, why not? I'm already paying for your service.
But when you look at your other two competitors who are giving out games just for free, why am I paying for a service and then being rented a game that's 20 years old?
Because Nintendo should go with like the Netflix approach and have their whole back catalog of games just on
Available.
demand.
Yeah, no,
For
absolutely.
Another
the,
thing,
for the fee.
They
but
didn't
they
even
will never
talk
do that.
about Virtual Console. They didn't mention it at all. They didn't mention, hey, we're finally, what you guys have all been asking for? Buy the game and you can own it going through because you own the game. Not even going to mention that. Not going to mention how they're handling Virtual Console with the Switch. Not mentioning, are we trickling out these games little by little?
Yeah.
Are we going to front load with a bunch of stuff? Are you going to be able to play GameCube games on, like, are you going to be able to play Wii games, Wii U games on, no, not even a word. Nothing. Not even an inkling of anything to do with Virtual
They're not
Console.
gonna. They're way too focused on all of this new like tech that they're trying to show off and all that stuff. That's gonna be a back burner.
I mean,
thing.
if you look back at the Wii, they didn't really talk about that stuff. I don't think. I mean, it was
But
so
it's
long
it's
ago, but
important.
I know
Of
it
course
is
it's
important.
important.
But now it's important that we know that this is a thing that they do. Back in 2006, they were never talking about that. I don't think.
Right. But even just the mention of Virtual Console, we will talk about at a later date. Like,
Yeah,
this
I think-
will come in time.
Yeah.
Because even with the online service, they said we have details. Like, it'll come later,
Yeah. So maybe they'll talk about it then.
maybe. But they haven't said anything. So
I know.
it's frustrating.
This is the curse of the early adopter.
Yeah.
As someone who
It's also the curse of people who have bought like NES games from them 1,000 times over because every time you get a new system, they make you buy it
it's
again.
like $5.
But still,
I know.
Still,
It's
$5.
I know
five
it's
times
$5
is $30
for a game that's like pushing 40. I know it's stupid.
All those free games are going to be NES classic games. I know it.
I'm gonna play Super Mario Brothers
We'll
World 1-1 for
Balloon
the
Fight.
8 millionth time, and they're gonna
Balloon
shoot
Boy.
confetti out of the Switch. Like, you did it. You played this game, this one level, 1,000,000 times. So, fuck, I forgot what I was about to say.
We're talking about online service,
Online service,
Splatoon 2.
Splatoon 2,
virtual console.
Inklings.
Inklings.
That's about it. I don't know. Come back to me.
So, so online service. Everything's done through the app, the Nintendo Switch app. You make a play appointment, you invite friends, you do all of that through the app. Which, okay, but you're telling me that I have to pay to play online and then pay to talk to my friends through my cell phone. Why can't I just call my friend and talk to him on the regular phone?
No one's stopping you.
I know, but it's stupid. Just let me plug into the Nintendo Switch or the controller and just talk like a normal person does on every other video game console.
Yeah.
I don't get why. And now they're selling you, they're like, oh, do you want earbuds for your look at these Zelda, and they're not even calling them headphones. They're like Switch voice whatever, and they plug into your phone. They're trying to sell you headphones.
Are they iPhone 7 or iPhone 6?
I didn't even look at them. I saw the
they're-
picture of them and I
If
said
they're jacked,
absolutely
that would
not.
stink.
Mm.
Anyway, going to the app real quick, I have a quick anecdote about that. So, I watched the parental controls video.
The Bowser Jr.
with
one.
Bowser
It's
and
so
Bowser
good.
Jr. It's great. It's really funny. But the best part about that, we had talked about this a couple weeks ago about whether like Bowser does all of his things by
Hold
love.
on. Can I pause for a second? The battery's getting low on the camera. Sorry.
Okay.
I want to plug it in.
Through the magic of editing, we will be right back. And through the power of editing, we are back once again.
Wow.
I hope it looked cool on your end. It didn't look cool on ours.
Sorry.
Before I was rudely interrupted. No, I'm just kidding.
I just saved the podcast.
I
Fuck
was in
you
the middle
guys.
of explaining something very important.
Before Negru was rudely interrupted. It's been so long. You have no idea how long it's been in between takes. Years.
Okay, so anyway, watching the parental controls trailer or video, right? Naturally, because I have kids, so I need to know. But anyway, so
It was a good trailer.
No, it's a great
good
trailer. It was really funny between Bowser and Bowser Jr. And we had talked about this a couple weeks ago on our Villains podcast about how Bowser is he's moved by the powerful emotion of love for Peach. So when Bowser pulled out his
cell phone,
who is his background cover?
Peach.
And you don't, as a man, you don't make a woman, a female, a cover of your phone unless you have strong feelings for them.
That's very true.
Nintendo Switch and Nintendo confirmed Bowser loves Peach. Right there.
And that's why Bowser won our villain.
Bowser loves Bowser Jr.
Yes.
I saw another thing.
Stop banging on the table.
I saw another thing yesterday on Twitter that was like, pros of Bowser. He loves his children, even the illegitimate ones. He loves Peach. He's setting parental controls for Bowser Jr. I'm like, pros for Mario. He jumps. I think that was it. It was like
he decimates entire populations of animals across the kingdom.
He doesn't give a shit about anything that gets in his way. All right, Splatoon 2.
Splatoon 2.
You were the only one of us two that have played the original Splatoon.
I'm the official Splatoon correspondent for Game Ratings.
Tell me, did you watch the Splatoon 2 trailer? Did you see the announcement?
Yeah.
Okay, what struck... Like, what seemed new to you? Like, what about that was
there's some
exciting?
new weapons. Looks like the maps are bigger, more robust. You can dodge roll, which is kind of cool.
So you could dual wield. I think that's new, right?
Yeah, I think there's one weapon that is like a dual wielding thing. And the guy from Splatoon came out on stage and had them and did a fucking crazy pose.
And he did the 2 pose.
Yeah.
He was like, Splatoon 2! But then, like, he holds it and he looks up for a second, and the Splatoon 2 logo hadn't come up on the screen yet. So it's like, he's like, did I get it?
It's so awkward. It was so good.
And he did it twice.
Yeah.
And, like, the translator's like, Splatoon 2! Because, like, he didn't know what was
He
happening.
had no idea what was going on.
Splatoon 2 looks really good. I didn't play the first one. It got me excited about Splatoon. It's something I might actually try this time around.
Yeah.
Is it enough to call it a full sequel? Does it look from what it
Yeah,
showed?
I guess there's some really like dark stuff that they're hinting at. Because there's the two characters that introduce you to the game, like Callie and Marie, and like one of them is like dead or something, and the other one is in all black now, and like they're like there's been changes to Inkopolis and to fashion, and like fashion and stuff was like a big part of the
game,
the first game, and a
Give you
lot
stats
of people
and stuff, right? All the different hats and all the different
it was, but like
clothes you could wear.
it was like all these different clothes, but like they looked like things that people actually wear, and they gave you boosts in different stats as you played multiplayer. But yeah, I'm kind of interested in seeing where, like you said, there's going to be a campaign. Does the campaign like actually hint at like the deeper lore of Splatoon, and like does it play into the multiplayer? Because like the Callie Marie thing, like that was a multiplayer thing. They weren't really in the single player. Yeah. I'm interested. I just want to see where it goes, and obviously they'll show more as we get closer to release.
Yeah. So,
I'm excited.
For the sake of moving things along, they did say Splatoon will show up at E3.
Cool.
They said that it'll have a presence. It comes out in the summer, so it probably won't be huge. It'll be like, hey, you know what I mean? Here's like another trailer, maybe some gameplay. Splatoon's coming out next month.
That's when I bought. That's when I bought Splatoon 1. It came out in the summer. There wasn't anything going on gaming wise that summer.
That was Splatoon 2 was the first game that was announced that wasn't. It was the first game that was announced that didn't say March 3rd. It was the one that was a little ways off. Because ARMS didn't say anything. Which something we should talk about because we skipped over that. ARMS, quickly, it's motion control fighting game.
Yeah.
Where you have like extendable arms. The 2 characters they showed off were Springman and Ribbon Girl. Mm-hmm. The art's really cool.
Yeah.
You hold the Joy-Cons vertically, and you can dash with the buttons and tilt to move. And then you just you punch, and it's just a brawl. It's sort of kind of think of like a Pokken sort of style with the it's vertical and you can move around in a circle, but also you just like throw punches from like 50 miles away.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool, and you could curve the punches by tilting really and stuff.
And the characters have different gloves,
loadouts, essentially,
different arms to change up their fighting style. And like, you have to charge up this arm so you can't like block with it for a little while. It seems interesting. I don't know how deep the game will go, but it looks like fun. The characters are really cool looking. There's a ninja who has a bun, but the bun is in the shape of a shuriken.
That's pretty cool.
It's super cool.
There's the big there's like a diva looking character. There's like a
I was thinking she looked like Diva too, but also like she looked like she was in like a Capsule Corp suit from like Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Like not like obviously not like actually, but it was just like big and clunky.
Yeah.
And it just like reminded me of that. So yeah, the characters look really cool. Can't wait for them to show up in Smash 5.
So ARMS was a game that didn't have a release date. Splatoon was the first game that said summer. Like this game is a ways out, which a lot of people thought. First, a lot of people thought it was going to be a Splatoon like Switch version, where it's just we're kind of sort of porting this. It'll be a little cheaper. It'll be out immediately.
Yeah.
Then they showed off what looked like New York City, and everybody was like, "Oh, what is this?" If you noticed, you could see it was there was a question mark block in the background, and it was supposed to be like a walkway thing, and you're just seeing some taxis. You're seeing real people.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, who pops up out of the manhole but Mario?
Mario himself.
And then immediately starts running. What looked to be gameplay. Hops on a taxi cab hood, jumps up, swings on a street light, climbing up a building. And
dude, Mario's jumping off a building.
Jumping off buildings. I was blown away. I was like, what is this? Then he gets in an airship and he goes to a Mexican city in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
He's hopping around, super colorful, vibrant. Yeah. Then he's in a jungle, what looks like Endor at some points. He's swimming. He's doing some crazy cloud levels.
He's swimming
beanstalks. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
man.
he's really
Yeah.
moving now.
They did
Like-
not want you to fucking regret those swimming levels.
Like Mario Sunshine, Rocket Pack, fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you're like and you just run. I watched a speed run of Super Mario Sunshine the other day on Awesome Games Done Quick. It was very good. Just side note, because anyway, this game just looks incredible. I was blown away. There's like a weird, like sort of, it almost, I don't even know what it looks like. It was like that other level that, so it was like there was like the desert level, and then there's this weird level where everything's kind of like almost looks like gems.
Yeah,
But
it
it's
all
like-
looked
it's
like
like
really polygonal.
Yeah, it was. Oh man, that game was awesome. And then later in the treehouse, they had the guys on from that. I can't think of his. Is it Miyamoto? No, was it Miyamoto?
I didn't watch that.
I think it was Miyamoto. I can't remember for the life of me, and it's gonna drive me crazy. He was on. He was talking about how this game is less. So when they created Super Mario 64,
This one is called Super Mario
oh,
Odyssey.
yes. When they created Super Mario 64, that was a game that was more of an adventure game. It was more for the core gamer and less for like the relaxed fan.
Mm-hmm.
And then they shifted over to start doing games that were more casual, more open, to appeal to a wider audience. And then they came out with Sunshine, which was again more of this adventure sort of
Yeah,
a difficult game. And then they went back and they said, we did 3D World and we 3D Land and we did some of the other new Super Mario Bros. And Galaxy. We did some of these. They said that Galaxy was trying to kind of merge the two. It was a little more relaxed, but it was still sort of an adventure game in a sense.
Yeah,
And they said
the levels were way more linear.
they said Odyssey is a direct, basically, it is them going back to the 64 Mario, the Sunshine Mario.
That makes me
the-
so hyped.
The more sort of for the core, they said for the core
That is
Mario
so cool.
gamer fan. So they're really pushing that sort of adventure into the unknown, that sort of
Exploration.
Mario's not in the Mushroom Kingdom anymore. He's in this new world and he's learning how to do it, just like he's in Delfino Plaza. He's in whatever the galaxy is in Super Mario Galaxy is called. I don't know. I don't even know if it's named something. It doesn't matter. Just sort of this, we're here now, and this is Bowser's like a pimp.
Yeah. He had an awesome white tux
Did you see what in the background is? The whole plot of it is it's the royal wedding.
on.
It's Bowser and Peach, the royal wedding. That's what the
Yeah.
poster says. And all of his goons come in all dressed in tuxes.
Yeah,
and
they
stuff.
look like new characters though.
Yeah, they I think that they're his squad for the game.
They looked like there was a lot of new characters, a lot of new villains to fight.
Goombas and construction hats in the city level.
Oh shit! You're not gonna be able to stomp on their heads.
No.
They're protected. I
The-
guess you'll have to throw your hat at them.
Yeah,
Oh shit!
you throw your hat to knock
Ooh.
their hat off.
Ooh, and maybe you get their hat,
Oh.
and then you can kill other guys with hard hats.
So
There you
for those
go.
of you who don't know, the hat Mario's cap is like a character in the game. In
This is
one.
my favorite thing about this,
The
in my opinion.
they show the trailer. They show you throw the hat and jump on it to like do a platform.
Yeah,
And then you're like, oh, cool, you can throw the hat. And then all of a sudden, it shows Super Mario Odyssey. And the cap is on, like, the one of the O's or whatever is a globe, and then it's got the hat on it. And then it pans back to Mario.
no. The logo, the hat just like sprouts eyes.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah, no, it goes back. It goes back to Mario. He gets the eyes, and then it goes back to the logo.
Oh,
the
okay.
logo gets
Never
the
mind.
eyes, and then you're like, "Oh shit, is this thing alive?" And then they show you some more like hat gameplay, and then there's a scene
Hat
if you go back in the trailer, Bowser throws his hat at you.
Yeah.
So like some sick hat battles are gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Sick hat
pumped about that.
Now, the only thing that what makes me really interested about the whole giving the hat life thing is, one of the things that Mario has held so dear to him throughout all of the games
Mhm.
is his hat.
You're right.
He always needs to be with his hat. He gets hurt more if he loses his hat in
right.
64. So it's like, I think it's really cool, and so you can even suppose to say that the hat has always been a living thing, and that's why he holds it so important to him. It's like a character that he's carried with him his
Yeah.
whole life.
Yeah, I
You
wonder.
know, it's like a really cool, like,
I wonder if there's
Thing.
they're gonna give context to like how the hat came to be, or if it's just
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's just in this
Probably.
universe Mario's hat is alive. Don't question it otherwise, because they could go that route too, and people would be
course.
like, yeah, okay, like that's
Awesome.
really cool. But I mean, it's not the first time that Mario's like had living things with him, like Sunshine,
Oh, yeah.
whatever the thing's called, that's created by
Flood.
by Professor Egad. Yeah, that thing's like alive. That thing's talks to him.
Illustrious
You
Professor.
love it.
Egad.
I love him. I'm gonna go for him as Halloween next year.
Good.
Um,
Yeah, Flood, like Luma,
Yeah. Galaxy.
I'm trying to think of other ones. There's definitely other ones.
I think the only thing
Yoshi.
Yeah,
Yoshi.
the only like peripheral, I guess, that is never like given life is the vacuum in Luigi's Mansion. I feel like every other sort of device you have some sort of like
Mario
connection
RPG
to.
games. There's always some new character following you around.
Yeah. I mean, look at Paper Mario. You get a slew of companions throughout that game. Paper Mario: 1,000 Year Door, great game.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's all I got for Mario, but.
I'm excited. I'm always excited for the new Mario game.
And the biggest sting about that game is they said holiday 2017.
Yeah, that's
that
brutal.
game is a way off.
And hopefully it actually comes out, though, because it really needs to... They can't...
It was announced that it'll
Can't
also
delay.
be at E3. So, I mean, not that confirms that it will be here in holiday, but
Right.
we do get to see more of it in a few months,
Right,
which is
yeah.
always... I'm very excited for that.
I really think that Nintendo's going to have a strong showing at E3.
That game... I mean, they had a strong showing last year with just Zelda.
Yeah.
And that was incredible.
Yeah.
It's interesting because that game looks very far along. They showed off a lot of environments, and that game looked like, again, we were talking about Scalebound earlier, when you see it, you're like, I could play that out of box. This game looks almost like a finished product. It's still got plenty of time. I'm sure there's plenty of things that still need to be done for that.
Yeah.
But what they showed did not make me think, all right, this game is a ways away. Like, I was very ready for them to say summer 2017 because it came right after Splatoon.
Yeah, but
So-
Mario games are a big...
Notoriously take a long time.
But no, they're also just like, those are holiday games.
Yeah.
Like, that's a game
That
comes out
makes
in the holidays.
that makes sense for
That's
them.
the game that needs to come out and rival Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty. Because those come out every holiday season.
Yeah, well, we had no Assassin's Creed this year, so
Yeah.
we'll have one. We'll have one this holiday.
No, we had the movie.
Well, we had the movie. Who gives a shit about that?
That was an awesome movie.
So after Super Mario, I don't remember what they showed. They had the developers come out. They had Todd Howard come out and say Skyrim's coming out.
I saw something. on-
Incredible.
I was trolling Tumblr last night, something I don't often do. Trust me. And someone was like, "No, they locked Todd Howard in an ancient tomb for them to get Skyrim on Switch."
They talked about a Square Enix game called Octopath Traveler. Some new sort of
New RPG.
pixel-based RPG that's coming out. It looked good.
Whatever.
I'm excited for it.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Xenoblade was the other one that came
Looks
out.
really cool. I like that
That game
trailer.
is. They say 2017, but there's no release date. That game is. I
Yeah.
do not think that game is coming out in 2017.
They showed
would-
a lot of environments, though. in
They
the
did,
trailer.
and that game did look pretty fun.
And there are cutscenes, but I think the cutscenes are the
But
easier
again,
thing to show
if I remember correctly, I think Xenoblade is one of those games that notoriously gets delayed.
No,
a
I'm
lot,
sure
so.
it is, and it's going to be a big game in terms of just the expanse of it, not necessarily popularity.
They
but
showed off a Shin Megami Tensei game, which is just
Just a hint at
Which is just-
what it could be.
yeah, it was a super early, and it was just wow, that's a thing that they just showed off at the Switch presentation. That was pretty wild because that's such a
That's a core game.
Oh man,
they
that's
teased
incredible.
Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem
Fire
Warriors.
Emblem
But,
Warriors.
You guys continue to disagree with me, but I really think it's just going to be another Hyrule Warriors.
It's not that I
you know,
disagree with you;
fighting
it's that I
game.
truly
I think it's
want
gonna
it to
be-
not be that.
I think it's gonna. I mean, it's from Koei Tecmo, and it's called Fire Emblem Warriors. It's obviously a Musou game, but I think Fire Emblem lends itself to Musou way better than Hyrule Warriors. I don't know why. Just something about that just did not click with me. Probably because it was on Wii U and it looked
Crappy.
kind
And
of
the
shitty.
3DS version looked really bad
And the
too.
3DS version looked real bad. But I'm going to bring this up all the time, and I've brought it up on an older podcast. They did Attack on Titan. They did the Berserk
Dragon
game.
Quest Heroes.
They did Dragon Quest Heroes. They're working on Dragon Quest Heroes 2. They have
Which you think they're gonna be doing two Musou games at the same time? They're gonna be developing.
I mean,
Heroes
they've
2
just
and-
always been developing Musou games.
I know that's crazy.
But
That's two big franchise undertaking.
yeah, I mean, they've been doing a great job, adapting these licensed characters to this genre. There's a lot of people who really do like Hyrule Warriors. I'm not one of them. I'm not into it. But Dragon Quest Heroes looks awesome. Attack on Titan looks so cool. And a lot of people really love those games. So I have some hope that they can do something really unique with Fire Emblem Warriors.
Right.
And we'll see something in a couple
direct.
weeks.
There's a direct next week. I think the 18th. They said.
Yeah,
Um,
that's exciting.
so yeah, we get more information on that. They showed off Super Bomberman R.
Yeah, skip it.
It's a
Whatever.
full-fledged game. It's got a
Who cares?
campaign. I like Bomberman. I'm excited for it.
Bomberman for the 64 was awesome, but I don't think this is gonna be that good.
I mean,
I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be good. I mean,
Oh yeah, that's what I want out of a game. I want it to be fine.
no, but I'm saying like I
looking
think it'll.
forward to
I don't know. I don't have any sort of like negative feelings. Towards
I don't have any
this
negative
game.
feelings towards Bomberman, but I don't have positive ones either, so I don't really
I
care.
don't know. I'm excited for it.
All right, you can come back to us.
Yeah, you let us know.
You'll
Just,
be the official Bomberman
Just Dance
correspondent.
2017. It wasn't at the presentation, but they
Just Dance 2017.
was
That's
like one of the.
that's game of the year right there.
That was the second Switch game ever announced. So they announced Zelda,
Yeah,
and then at E3, Ubisoft opened up with Just Dance, and they were like coming to coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and NX. And everybody was like, "Oh shit, an NX game just got announced, but it's Just Dance 2017." So no one really gave a shit.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be the exact same game. Talk about fucking reskin.
I know, right?
Yeah, whatever.
So they ended. We'll just end the presentation. They ended the presentation by saying, "We've got one more thing for you." After doing some like weird Reggie skit with
Miyamoto,
Moto,
tell me
yeah,
about
yeah.
Zelda.
Oh man, he's like, only one person can tell you about Zelda, and I was just like, oh my god.
And
they're
it's
like,
Zelda himself.
and then they're like, when is it coming out? And they go, do you know? And then
It's fucking Blue's
oh,
Clues
man,
ass
it was-
shit.
and then they're like, oh, we got one more thing for you, and they show you the Zelda trailer that we were gushing about before.
Just
Just if you haven't watched it, go watch
blockbuster
it.
type
Oh,
stuff
man,
right
incredible.
there.
And then Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, and then you hear the open your eyes line again. And you see Link open his eyes from one of the first trailers that they showed, and then it just across the screen says March 3rd, 2017, and everybody was like, "We did it, guys! Zelda's coming out finally." But
Everybody who bought the Wii U for Zelda, now you can get the Switch instead.
We fucking
Trade it
duped
in.
They're really banking on Zelda to sell systems, and it will, and it has been, and that's not anything wrong with that. But like, that they were like, we got this in our back pocket. But like, everyone was kind of expecting that already, so everybody was like, yeah, we know you have Zelda. You've been pushing it. It was at E3. Like, you showed us another trailer.
But
at the
nobody
Game
knew that it
Awards.
was going to come out the same day as the console.
It was never confirmed, but like everyone had their notions that like it should. Everybody was on the same page. Like, it should come out with the system because that, like, what else are you going to show
Yeah.
us? So everybody was waiting. It's like, all right, well, like, yeah, you got Zelda, but like, what else do you have? Because like when you beat this game in a few weeks, or you've done as much as you want in that Zelda, and you're looking for something else to take a break with, you don't really have that.
Yeah.
At least not immediately. You've got the weird game like Snipper Clips, which is, I think it looks like a lot of fun to play with friends, but a game you're not going to play by yourself. It's just cute little like your paper, and you cut each other, and you try to fit into shapes, and you try.
Dumb.
I don't know.
It's a puzzle
There
game.
was
I
a lot
think
of
it looks fun.
personality to it.
Yeah, I think it's a nice little new IP, and it's only going to be $20. Like, it's not.
You guys will always like those couch co-op games more than me. Just that is
Couch co-op is my favorite
Genre.
playing video games. Couch co-op is my favorite way to do that.
Yeah.
Playing with my friends in the same room, yelling at each other. That's why Overcooked, Diablo, Snipper Clips will be a good time. I used to play Army of Two, even though those games were terrible. I played through them all with community member Adam.
Dude, I played a
And-
lot of Dragon Ball Z sagas on GameCube.
Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse 2 announced for the Switch.
I don't care.
And neither do I. That game's been out. It's coming out.
awesome. Can't wait.
It's cool, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Going forward, it'll be nice if they have Dragon Ball games on it.
I mean,
Playing on the go is always kind of cool.
the Wii always had like Dragon Ball games.
Right, but I'm saying going forward,
Those
just
were-
like with the portability of them,
those were
is
bad.
nice. Some of my favorite Dragon Ball Z games were the Legacy of Goku on Game Boy Advance, Legacy of Goku 2. Anyway, so coming down the pipeline at the end of April, we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or whatever.
If they don't do an incentive program, because I have Mario Kart 8 and all the DLC. If they don't do an incentive program, I'm
Was
like, I'm
Splatoon
not
part of
getting...
that DLC? Because Splatoon is in Deluxe.
Splatoon is new for Deluxe. But it's a $60 game, and I already paid over $60 for that game.
Yeah, so what Deluxe has that the original game doesn't is the Splatoon characters, King Boo. It has all the DLC from 8, so that's like the Zelda DLC
Animal Crossing
and the
DLC.
Animal Crossing DLC. It has battle mode, like the balloon battle mode.
Yeah.
They added that.
That looked really
They
cool.
added new stadiums. The Splatoon stadium is really cool. You
It's
can,
for
slide
battle
on the
mode.
paint. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's still cool. Yeah, so they added some of that stuff. I don't think I saw anything else in the trailers that really were like, oh shit. Oh, some new items. The feather's not in Mario Kart 8. The one you can
Yeah,
hop
new
over people.
items,
They
yeah.
added that. Yeah, so I mean, it looked good, but again, yeah, $60 for a game that you own already.
Yeah.
They should
That
do
I
some sort of
own like
incentive program.
80% of already.
Yeah. Again, that shouldn't have been a $60 game. That should have been like a $40 game at most, and then maybe an incentive if you had 8 already. But so you have that at the end of April. If you haven't played Mario Kart 8, like this is a great time to get into it if you have a Switch.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's got everything.
it does have everything. I mean, spring you've got ARMS, which we talked about, Lego City Undercover, whatever that
It's
is.
a Wii U port.
Sonic Mania, which is gonna come out at the same time for everything now.
Uh-huh.
Sonic Mania, everybody's saying, is the game that's gonna put Sonic back on the map. You know, it's that fan loved game. They took people that made Sonic fan games and they hired them, and they're the ones.
Yeah,
kinda making
I
this
respect
game.
that, but I'm not gonna get it.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a game I pick up once I like see how well it's received. Because if it's a well received game, then yeah, I mean, I'd love to play some Sonic. I haven't played a good Sonic game in a very long time.
No one has.
Yeah, Splatoon 2 we talked about already. Fall 2017 Skyrim, sure. If you want to play, I mean, Skyrim while you walk around, I guess is cool, but also like give me something that I can like that's new. Skyrim
Right.
is how
Skyrim
old
is
now?
6 years
6
old.
years old.
Way too old.
5
to be
years old.
like,
5 or 6 years
yeah, we'll
old.
keep dusting off.
Holiday we got Mario, Project Sonic in 2017, which nobody really knows anything about because that was announced alongside Sonic Mania, and it was like a small little CG trailer where you saw another Sonic running by you, and then that was it. FIFA, EA came out and said that FIFA will be out for the Nintendo Switch. I mean, that's cool. If you're a Nintendo fan, though, and you don't have other consoles and you want to play sports games, it's nice that they're available on
FIFA
the
is
Switch.
the most popular sports game in the world.
FIFA is EA's best-selling game. Like,
I
consistently
mean,
across the
so
board.
it's a worldwide
Exactly.
thing.
I think it's nice that you have the option for us, people like us who own multiple consoles aren't going to get FIFA or NBA on the Switch, but it's nice that they're being offered for people that might only be able to afford one console and might like to play sports games, and they can play them on the go now.
Yeah.
And it's easier to play against your friends if you're in the same room. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Just maybe not easier, but it's just an option you have if you both have your Switches on you. Dragon Ball Z 2 Xenoverse, whatever. Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse 2. Can't speak today. We talked about that. Doesn't matter. Farming Simulator. I guess if you want to farm on the go.
Cool.
It's nice that it's being offered again. There's no dates for any of these games. Minecraft Story Mode. I cannot believe that they're still
Minecraft.
porting that game to things. Minecraft itself is coming out for Switch.
Yeah,
which
Minecraft
that is
itself. Okay.
$50.
That's a
though.
game from 2000. What?
That's what it's been listed as. I don't know if that's official.
I
retail
paid like
price, but-
$22 for that when it first came
Yeah,
out.
I don't
I'm
know.
not getting
I
that
don't
again.
know if that is true, but on sites it has been listed for $50.
All right, we'll see.
It's a lot of money.
Again, that could be a placeholder because Bomberman is currently at $60, but has not been confirmed by publisher and is being said to be much less than that. So we'll see. Rayman
a
Legends
lot of this is
Definitive
we'll see.
Edition,
Great.
Rhyme, Shin
Rayman
Megami
Legends,
Tensei,
is a good game.
Yeah, but it's just another
Port.
not new game.
Steep. I don't know why you would ever want to play Steep on your Nintendo Switch.
I don't know why you would ever want to play Steep. Period.
I mean, if you're a fan of snowboarding games, you don't get them very often.
I mean, I like them, but Steep looked bad.
Thought it looked alright. I don't know. And
Anyway.
Steep gets a lot of hate, and I don't know why. It's just like it's cool.
It just
Ubisoft
looks
tried
like
something
the most,
new.
and it is trying something new, but it also looked like the most vanilla snowboarding game I've ever seen.
But yeah, because it's not like an SSX. It's not like
Yeah.
off the walls
Give me
crazy.
SSX. Give me Sean White.
Before we
Sean
wrap
White
up-
was a rough game.
Before we wrap up, and since we pretty much went through all of the games that Nintendo has listed for their 2017 plus,
Mhm.
I wanted to just talk about the fact that both Metroid is a no-show and Star Fox being a no-show.
Yeah.
But I'm only saying I'm bringing up Metroid because it's been a really long time since we've had a Metroid game.
A good Metroid game.
Right, exactly.
I saw some inklings about something Metroid in the works.
No, Inklings are from Splatoon.
I saw some inklings in the deep web.
And then Star Fox, same thing. It's been a long time since we had a good game. And I wanted to pose this to you guys, Star Fox related specifically. What if they made, and I think that this could really transform that game and build it up as to bring it back to prominence again.
Uh-huh.
What if they made Star Fox a split RTS dogfight game where you're playing your RTS, it's like you have the whole battle, the overall battle, right? You're planning your attacks, and then you get to a specific point, almost like a Battlefront 2-esque, where then you get into, it's like, oh, well, Fox, we really need you to get in there. And then, like, you get into Fox's ship, and then, like, you guys are, then you do, like, the specific story events that you need to do as Star Fox.
I think that's a good concept. It's just not a game I'm into.
Yeah, it's not something I would play, but I do.
Oh, I think that would be awesome.
I do.
No, I
For-
agree with you
But
that
for
it would
Star
be
Fox
awesome.
in general, like
Well,
They've gotta
I
do
think
something
Star
new.
Right,
Fox
that's what
has
I'm
to
saying.
shake things up. So
because like just the game being you're flying straight through the whole time, and then like you move a little bit or you move a little bit.
It's such an old concept that
Yeah.
they need to upgrade, and they did for a little while. They had Star Fox Adventures. Star Fox Assault was like a little bit different.
Right.
I don't know. Star Fox. I had Star Fox on DS. Was that called Star Fox DS?
Probably.
And that was sort of different. There were like dogfights where they gave you like a big open space to play in.
Right.
They have to shake up. Like just because it's Star Fox doesn't mean people want like shoot in a straight line,
Yeah.
bullet
Absolutely.
hell type games.
Yeah.
They love Fox McCloud. They love Falco. Let us play as those characters.
Right.
Have them do like badass space stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Star Fox was a no-show. Wario was a no-show. Waluigi was a no. Like, there's just so many characters in this universe.
Waluigi was
Oh,
there.
Dry Bones is the other character that's in Mario.
Okay,
Kart
I
8
thought he
Deluxe.
looked new, but also like, who cares? Like,
I
it's
love-
like
I
Dry
love-
Bones.
But Dry
I
Bones
love
has been
Dry
a
Bones.
playable character before.
He has, but he's
But not in Mario
not in
Kart
Mario Kart
8.
8. Is what I'm saying.
Oh,
He's in
right.
the deluxe edition. Was the other character I forgot to mention.
Yeah, whatever.
I like
Cool.
Dry Bones is my like favorite.
I like Dry
One
Bones,
of my
but it's
favorite
like
characters.
it's still not
Why?
$60.
Because he's cool. He's like a skeleton turtle. Like he's awesome.
It's still not worth the $60 for the game.
No, and Dry Bones doesn't define the fact that I'm gonna buy this game. I'm just saying he's in the game. I'm like kind of upset there wasn't anything Donkey Kong related. Like,
yeah.
But
Tropical Freeze was great, but it will be 3 years old next month. What have they been doing for 3 years?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Retro Studios.
Retro,
where you
yeah.
at?
What are they up to? I don't think they're doing another Donkey Kong. You hope
Maybe-
they're doing Metroid. You
Yeah.
hope Retro is doing Metroid.
Maybe they're gonna
Retroid.
do maybe they're gonna do like a Donkey Kong 64 HD remaster.
Oh no, I don't want a remaster. I want a new Donkey Kong.
They're
game.
gonna remaster a game, at least
Ugh.
one, for the system. They do it every system. They bring a game back.
Yeah, well, they did Zelda for the Wii U, but that was like 2 or 3 years into the Wii U's life cycle.
Wind Waker.
And
Wind
Twilight
Waker was
Princess.
the Twilight Princess is the one I'm talking about.
So they did two for
They
the Wii
did
U.
2. Ugh, I hate these things. Wind Waker was cool because like I got to replay it.
Looked
but,
gorgeous.
I mean,
Um,
that game lends itself well to an
But-
HD remaster because
okay.
its style is timeless.
But an HD remaster for a game that you have no opportunity to play unless you have an N64, I think that's a good idea.
no, I'm pretty sure they re-released it recently.
Yeah, I don't think that's that old. I think you could play it. I think you were able to play it on Wii Virtual
The
Console.
Donkey Kong 64 game?
I think you were able to play it on Wii Virtual
Are you
Console. If I
sure?
remember.
I don't
I
know
said
about
that's
that.
what I'm saying. I think. I'm not
Right.
saying I'm sure.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
But I don't know. I don't
Anyway,
think. I think there should be a new dot. If you're announcing a system and you are Nintendo and you have all of these IPs, you come out with your heavy hitters and they didn't, and that is very frustrating.
well, because they're selling it on Zelda and, like, it's gonna work because Zelda looks
Okay.
awesome.
Zelda, Mario, we can argue Splatoon, but I think those are pretty big tent poles, and they have, a good gap in between
But
them.
they're
so
also
not
ones that we
fighting
see
with
every
each other.
generation.
Oh, now we see every generation, but
You need to, if you have to see
I think
a
we
new
should
Zelda
hold
and
out-
Mario game for every generation of Nintendo,
Yeah.
I think.
No, I'm not
I
saying
think
get
so
rid
too.
of them, but I'm saying use your other.
I know.
Popular
And they
IPs.
have Metroid, Star Fox, Donkey
Maybe they're
Kong.
working on a Luigi's Mansion 2. Or 3, I guess,
Three,
technically.
technically.
But
Maybe.
I think
the
that's,
year of Luigi is over.
that's
though.
just some stuff that we're going to have to wait till E3. The E3 presentation will be where they dig in to those like B tier games.
You
Maybe
hope.
they'll show some Pokemon.
Yeah, there's nothing. No Pokemon Stars.
Pokemon Stadium?
No Pokemon Stars.
I don't know what that is.
That's
was
the
maybe
Sun,
another
Moon,
Pokemon.
The Sun Moon
Stars.
Stars. Stars is
Oh.
supposed to be Switch.
I don't care.
You don't care about a console Pokemon game?
Because I have a Pokemon game already. No, I don't care about console Pokemon. I'm not going to get Stars.
Oh, you're
Because I
crazy.
played Moon.
The dream is console Pokemon. That's
We're getting close.
That's
We're
what we're
getting
that's
close.
what we've been aiming for.
It's all speculation. right now.
Uninterested.
I think that wraps up.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much done here.
We can
Rock
speculate wildly for months and months until E3 comes around.
Pokemon Stars, that's the dream. Shoot for the stars.
Jesse's dream doesn't represent everybody.
It represents everyone at Gamerations.
Hive mind.
Fair.
Console Pokemon.
Alright, I did make the
All
comment already. Alright.
It's been real. It's been episode 30. 30 under 30. We did it under 30 minutes. Congrats, guys. We did it. All right. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. My phone's going off. I'm
Twitch.
sorry. Twitch. Hit us up on Discord.
Gamerations.com.
Gamerations.com.
Yep.
We got some cool stuff in the works.
2017.
2017.
Rock and roll, guys.
All right, see
It's
you
gonna
later.
be big.
Get out of
Bye.
here.
Bye.